My name's Rebecca Greensill and my film background is mainly in television here in Australia. I started out on a drama called All Saints, which was a medical drama that ran for 12 years. I then went on to Underbelly, which I believe is airing in America soon, an American remake of it. It's basically about an area called King's Cross in Sydney, which is a bit, the underbelly, the seedy side of Sydney. Well, it used to be anyway, and this was set in the 80s based on true stories of people who owned pubs and nightclubs around there doing very dodgy acts. And then I ended up on Home and Away, which is a drama, like a soapy, that's been running for like 25 years, and got into writing through that. So I've been writing and story editing and script editing with them, and yeah, then started making short films of my own, and now I've ended up here. My biggest influence in film starting out, I think, was Aaron Sorkin, the writer. I didn't realise until much later in life how many of my favourite shows and movies that he'd written. As a kid, I watched A Few Good Men over and over and over again, and then became obsessed with The West Wing and just that rapid fire kind of dialogue that he's known for. And then, yeah, more recently, I've become a little bit obsessed with Clint Eastwood, the movies that he's directed. I wasn't much of a fan of his, I didn't really get into his westerns, but yeah, the films that he started directing later on, are just some of the most amazing films I've ever seen. So they're my kind of main ones at the moment. The hardest part about getting this film made, I think, was the set. It's all kind of set in one room because I thought that would be easier, but then of course I managed to write some very particular things in it where, the grate between two rooms gets punched out and that kind of thing. So we ended up having to design and build the set ourselves, which then meant hiring a studio and shooting it all in one weekend. And that studio ended up being under a flight path. So we ended up having to do many retakes throughout that weekend. But the lead actor, Jake Spear, did an absolutely phenomenal job. He was completely committed the whole time, and yeah, he was incredible. My main thing, I think, through a lot of my research, and I think it's probably a little bit different in Australia to America, but in Australia, when we think about veterans, we think about, very old men who fought in wars 50, 60, 90 years ago. And I think it's important for Australians to realise that there are, 22-year-old guys, 30-year-old guys who are remembering wars 2 years ago, 10 years ago, not that it's not a past problem, it's a current one. Fun fact about me, I fell into the TV industry almost by mistake. I did script writing at uni, but, trying to find a way into the industry was difficult. I got a bit bored, so I went and became a paramedic with the ambulance service for a year, and that was some of the most incredible moments of my life. Those experiences were amazing, and it was because of that medical knowledge that I ended up on All Saints, which was a medical TV show, so working with the medical props. Tender's one of those films that leaves you thinking. Everyone who's watched it so far, there's just been silence after they've finished watching it. And it's taken people a good, 10, 15 minutes to get out of that emotional journey and actually start talking about the issues in the film. So I think it's a film that will move people.